Hey everybody, welcome back to Cash and Crypto. Again, my name is Daniel Rizza, and today we're going to be talking about your net worth. We're going to talk about what it is, why it's important to know, and I've got some key metrics here that will help you figure out where you stand with as far as your net worth is based on how old you are, okay? Let's get it started. So our net worth is simply a math problem. It's all of our assets that we have, things we own, things that create income for us, things that generate value, minus all the liabilities, which are things that we owe, right? So it's everything that you own minus everything that you owe. Okay, so what could be an asset? An asset could be your car, even though it depreciates in value. You could sell your car for money, and so therefore it's an asset, right? Now, if you have a loan on that car, well, that would fall under the liability category, right? So if you owe more money than you own, then your car is a negative asset for you, right? It's not helping you grow your net worth. So it's important that we buy cars with cash, for one, and if we do borrow them, we pay them off quickly. Some assets are what we call liquid, like if you had a bunch of cash in a checking account or a savings account, that's a liquid asset that would go on in the equation. If you had stocks, you could sell those relatively easily, so that's pretty liquid. If you have it in the form of real estate, now that's different, right? Because you could take a loan out against your real estate and get some cash, but then you're basically out into your liabilities. But you could sell your home, but you can't sell a house overnight. So it takes some time to sell a home. So we would call that an illiquid asset. Still an asset, still goes on a plus column for your net worth sheet, but it's illiquid. Same thing if you owned a business. You could sell a business, right, for book value if you had to, just liquidate everything. But again, that takes time. You have to find a buyer. So we would call that an illiquid asset. But it would still go into your net worth. All right, so your net worth is basically all of the things that you own that generate income for you minus all the things that you owe. Okay? All right, now, why is that important? Well, you see, I'm living off of paychecks right now. Paychecks are what pay our bills, or we're buying our food with, we're buying all of our expenses with the money that we make from our jobs. But what I want to do one day is live off of my portfolio. And in order to do that, I've got to build my portfolio up. And that is by looking and tracking my net worth and knowing what it is. Then I'll be able to see what goal I need to get to, and then I can make plans and steps to get there. You can pull money out of a portfolio at a certain rate. A 4% rule is one that is often used and thrown around. If you pull 4% of your money out of a portfolio every year, it typically, given the market conditions that are relatively what to be expected, will make up for itself. So you could potentially pull out 3 to 4% of a portfolio in perpetuity because it won't ever diminish the principal. You could also build up a portfolio large enough where you can start pulling out principal, and it doesn't matter because we're just pulling this money out until we're done living here. And so when we're gone, if there's any money left, then whatever, you can leave it to as an inheritance or send it to charity or whatever you want to do with it. You could also just pull straight cash. If you were really concerned about the market volatility, you could just put $1 million. If you had $1 million in cash, you could pull $50,000 out a year of that for 20 years before you depleted all that money. Not quite the best idea because of inflation losses, but we'll talk about that another time. So let's see where you stack up, right? So I found a website, I'll link it down below, where it talks about the average and the median net worth by your age. Now, average is not quite a good number to use because it does take into account the people on the far ends of the spectrum, right? So your Mark Zuckerbergs, the people that were very wealthy in their 20s, are going to throw off the number of what most people actually have in their 20s, right? So the average for your 25-year-old is like $30,000 net worth or something like that. But most 25-year-olds, their net worth is maybe $5,000, $6,000. So it's not a huge number. But that's not bad at all. If you're 25 years old and you've got a $5,000 net worth, you're doing okay. Now, I think when I was 25 years old, I'm pretty sure it was negative. For a 35-year-old, it's $35,000. Again, these are what the median net worth is currently. Right, so this is what most people are like. So we want to be above this because these numbers, you'll find out shortly, are not where they should be. The median for a 45-year-old is $125,000. The median for a 55-year-old is $193,000, and the median for a 65-year-old is about $250,000. So again, these numbers seem like a lot of money, and they are a lot of money. It's nothing to scoff at. But you'll find out in a minute that I think these numbers are not quite what you want to be getting. And again, remember, these numbers don't necessarily represent dollars in the bank or dollars in stocks or equities. These are net worth. So a lot of this could be in an illiquid asset, like I said, real estate, right? And illiquid assets really don't help you when it comes time to pulling cash out where I need it to pay my bills. Okay, so here are some goals to try to strive for when it comes to your net worth. At 25 years old, what we want to do is we want to go with half of our salary as a net worth. Okay, so if you make $50,000 at 25 years old, if you get to $25,000 of net worth, not only are you doing really well, you are on track to have a healthy and robust retirement. Okay, now at 35 years old, we want to get to 5 times our salary. Okay, so that's going to be $125,000 saved up by 35 years old. Now listen, it sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, but don't be intimidated by it, because little by little you can grow this wealth. So also keep in mind that money properly invested in the market doubles about every 7 to 10 years. No, every 7 years, right? At 10% interest, you're going to double your money every 7 years. So if you had $25,000, then that money alone is going to turn into $50,000 7 years later, right? So that combined with all the money that you're putting in on a regular basis, you can get this snowball going pretty quickly. By 45, you want to get to 13 times your net worth. By 55, you want to get to 18 times your net worth, which is going to be $900,000 if you made 50 grand. And remember, if you made 50 grand at 25, you're probably making a significant amount more money at 55, right? You're not going to stay at 50 grand for 30 years. Hopefully you're not. You're going to be doing things to grow your skill set, to grow your income, which is going to help you with saving your money. And then at 65 years old, the goal is to have at least a $1 million net worth if your income is $50,000. If your net worth is $1 million, if you look at the 4% rule, well, then I can pull out $40,000 a year, right? 4% of $1 million is $40,000. So you can pull out $40,000 on a $1 million nest egg, and by doing so, you'll have $40,000 of spending money each year, and that money you pulled out will be typically grown back with the growth in the stock market. Hope you guys liked that video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the section down below. I'd love to hear some questions or comments from you guys about what you thought about this, or what some other videos you might want to see in the future. But keep saving, keep growing, keep grinding, and we will talk later. Take care. Bye. I'm going to start. All right, here we go.